spending time with her husband, friends, family, including her 12 grandchildren. In her spare time, she connects and celebrates with the women involved in motorsports, taking you behind the wall about their journey of life, racing, and how they juggle everything to make it all work. Welcome to Racing Girls Rock Podcast. Strap in, window nets up, the pedals are down, and when the green flag drops, we go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melinda Russell, and this is Racing Girls Podcast. We are here with Jamie, and Jamie Sullivan's going to share a little bit with us about herself and some exciting things that she has going on. And so we're going to get right into the interview. And Jamie, welcome to the show. And why don't you start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself, your family, so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you so much for having me. I want to say I've been racing for 11 years. I started in go-karts at the age of 9, stock cars at the age of 11, and then I moved on to trucks at the age of 16. I've raced both dirt and asphalt. I started in late models last year, and this year we got a super late model. A couple weeks ago, I actually debuted my super late model, so that was pretty cool. Also, like 2 weeks ago, I got to jump in a monster truck. So I've been working with them since January of last year. And I've gotten to work on the trucks. I've gotten to now drive them. I got to test, I had 2 test sessions, and then they let me go to a show, and it was very nerve-wracking, but I got that opportunity. It was awesome. Can't thank Raising Cane Monster Trucks enough for that opportunity. I also go to the University of Northwestern Ohio. I'm studying automotive and high-performance motorsports, so I'm getting all my hands-on for working on race cars and stuff as well. Plus, I'm on the UNOH Motorsports team. And I was actually supposed to have my first debut in one of the stock cars this past Friday, but we actually rained out. So I'm supposed to have it this Friday coming up. So we'll see how that goes as well. And I also have a Clyde Hart Memorial race this weekend on Saturday in the super late model, my second race ever in that car. So.
Ooh, I'm tired just listening to you. So do you live in Ohio then? You live down at school, or is it like online school?
I live in Ohio right now. I live off campus, but I've lived here for 2 years now. I got 1 more year left, and I'll be moving back to Florida and probably on the road full time with the monster truck team. So.
Okay, so let's talk about the monster truck team. That was pretty cool when I saw your Facebook post about that. So how did that come about? Did you reach out to them? They saw you? How did that all get started?
So I actually had a friend on the team, and he mentioned to them that I was looking to move up in the racing atmosphere. And so I contacted them, and I was like, I have motorsports behind me. I've been racing since I was 9, and I was currently going to automotive in high school at the time. So I contacted them, and they're like, and I told them I was going to UNOH for college once I graduated high school. And they came out and watched me race one time, and they said like they had me sign a contract with them so I could work for them. They were looking for a technician and a driver, a female driver. So I contacted them, and since then I've been working for them and got the opportunity to actually jump in it twice for testing and then once to actually drive it. So I have a couple more shows this year, and then they might want to try and get me into Monster Jam next year. So
that'd be awesome. So where are the shows, the other 2 shows this year?
I don't know yet. They haven't told me exactly where they're at. But I'm sure probably one might be in Florida. I mean, hopefully, because that's where I'm from. But it's just up to them. It's up in the air right now.
Well, all you have to do is follow you on Facebook, and we'll know, won't we?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So I want people to be able to come out and watch you. That would be awesome. And then to be part of Monster Jam would just be incredible, wouldn't it?
For sure. That's literally my dream right now. Like in college, being able to drive a monster truck is just awesome. Like I'm blessed to have the opportunity and the opportunities I've had thus far. And just the school in general has definitely helped me get that too as well.
Yeah, that's a very popular school. I mean, I hear it a lot from people that I interview, because that's kind of the place to go, isn't it? If you're interested in furthering your education for motorsports.
Yeah, it's a lot of hands-on. You get your hands on everything, especially being on the motorsports team. I've learned a lot more through that. And it's definitely, I've also been on the ARCA team as well. So working on cars and just getting your experience, take as many opportunities as you can, because you literally get as many opportunities, and you should take them, because that'll help you when you graduate. So
Yeah, absolutely. And the hands-on, I mean, everybody, you can read a book or you can watch a video, but the hands-on, there's nothing that can replace that, I don't think. I
Exactly.
learn best by doing. And
Yeah.
yeah, that would be fabulous. So so the monster trucks, so tell me, what did you have to learn? Like, obviously that's nothing like driving a race car, really. So what are the things that are different? What did you have to learn so that they trusted you to drive that car in one of the shows, or that truck in one of the shows?
So actually, I had two test sessions, like I mentioned. So we had two jumps set out in the field, and the first test session they had me like go around the track, make sure I feel the rear steer because you have to use the toggle switch for it. So as you're turning with the wheel, you got to use the toggle switch to go the same way. And that's definitely something to get used to because I'm used to just using like the wheel, just steering it. I don't have rear steer. So I learning that was definitely one of my biggest curves. But then also trying to learn throttle control, like when you're jumping, and you have to make sure you get it just perfect, or otherwise you'll land like nosedive or you'll land on the back wheels. It's just learning that is definitely a big thing. So the first test session wasn't the best, but the second one I started getting the hang of it and learning throttle control and landing it on all four wheels was definitely a good a good outcome for that. So
Yeah, that's probably the desired outcome, is getting on four wheels.
yeah.
But, a lot of times when you watch, they do kind of land sometimes on the front wheels and the back, or the back wheels and the front. I mean, I guess for the fans, that makes it more exciting. But if you're driving, I would think you'd want to kind of come down on all fours. So
Yeah, for sure. And like just doing test sessions and going to the actual track to do a show is a whole different ball game because you got more obstacles. Like going in open field is way different. And when you're at the track, just all the obstacles you have to like worry about, and like just being in front of a whole bunch of fans, it's a lot different for sure. But it's definitely exciting and very nerve wracking. But
So were you the only girl in the show? Are there other women that are out there doing something like this?
well, I was the only one in that show because there's only two of our trucks, but there is a lot of women in the Monster Jam field, and it's pretty awesome. Like I look up to Cynthia Goteo and all of them. It's really cool to see them just doing good in the Monster Jam field.
I saw she was just in Kansas City. They gave her a Kansas City jersey. I follow her. She's pretty amazing too. And then I know there were a couple other women at one time that were driving. I'm not sure about their names, but it's good to see that the women are out there and doing that. So when you're driving that big truck, what's the thing you love about it the most? Is it, I'm sure your adrenaline really gets going. What do you love about doing that the most?
I don't know. It's just like every jump is different, and the way you hit it is always different. So it's just getting to jump those and like not knowing exactly what the outcome is going to be when you land, but just getting the opportunity to take those chances when you're jumping the cars and just crushing the cars. That's awesome. I mean, being given the fans a show is amazing, honestly.
Yeah. So when you did your show, what are some of the things that you did besides a jump? So did you run over a bunch of cars? Was that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly everything yet. Like they haven't taught me the two wheels and like the backflips and stuff like that. But I got to do like my own freestyle twice and learning how to jump over the cars and stuff because we didn't do that in testing as well. So like learning to do that was awesome, and I got to do a few jumps. And there's one big jump in the beginning. I just started out with that one and cleared it, so it was pretty cool.
So that gave you some confidence after you did that.
For sure.
Like, hey, I nailed that. Now let's see what else I can do.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when when they, I'm sure, introduce you at the show, and people realize it's a girl in the truck, what's the crowd reaction?
Oh, they love it. I mean, there's so many kids that look up to you as a driver, especially when I was doing this past show. There's a mom that came up to me and she's like, you really changed my daughter because she literally like never wanted to get out of the house. She didn't want to do anything with motorsports related. And then now you've changed her because you're driving a monster truck. I was like, that's so awesome. Like just knowing that people look up to you as a driver is really cool.
And, just the fact that, I mean, that was great that you had that conversation, but just think about probably the people you've impacted that you haven't had the conversation with. There's probably a lot of little girls and maybe even little boys too, who say, hey, someday that's what I want to do. And when you think about a career path, driving a monster truck probably isn't a normal career path for a lot of people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And probably they don't even realize that it's something you can do as a career. But
Right.
now that you're out there and you're promoting it and you're sharing it, then it allows people to learn a little bit more about it and to be like, oh, my son is just obsessed with monster trucks. Maybe it's something he could do someday. And
Right. Your appearance definitely makes a difference on the little kids out there, and just the way what they want to do in their life. Like, just they could change their career in a second. So like when I was little, I always wanted to be a NASCAR driver. And I mean, I'm doing short track racing right now, but like monster truck thing wasn't even in my head until like I got the opportunity. It was like, wow, this is actually really cool. Like, this is something I want to do in my life. And so just looking up to people, there's a lot of kids that look up to you, and it's just your appearance definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that I think we have to remember too, which I follow you, so I know you don't have this problem, but I know that, social media can get kind of dirty, can get kind of mean, especially I think Twitter's the worst. But anyway, and a lot of those people, I wish they would just stop and look in the mirror and be like, who's listening to me? I think sometimes we forget that we're typing away and we're not thinking of the hundreds of thousands of people who might be seeing that or might.
Exactly.
And
so many people lose so many opportunities over it too. You got to watch what you say, because there's so many people watching you, whether you know it or not. There's people watching you. Just like my super late model race, there were so many people watching me that like contacted me after the race. It's like I didn't even know they were watching me, but they're there, and your appearance makes a difference, like I said.
It absolutely does. And especially like to get sponsorships or marketing partners, they're really watching, and they want somebody that's going to represent them well, and it's going to make a good impression with the fans. And, as we've seen, one slip of the tongue, one slip of anything, and it can all go away. And so, but I just think people that are at kind of at the lower level, the local tracks and that, they have people that look up to them too. They just don't think about it. And sometimes I want to reach through the computer and be like, no, why did you say that?
Exactly.
So Jamie, why don't you tell us how can the people that are listening follow you so that they know where you're going to be and all what you're up to?
So I have Instagram and Facebook. My Facebook is Jamie Sullivan Racing, and my Instagram is Jamie_Sullivan_racing. So either way, you can look me up on both of those, and I always post everything I'm doing each weekend. So like this weekend, I have those 2 big events coming up. So you'll get to see all that, and you'll get to see exactly how it's going throughout the night.
Okay, and so where are those events?
I have a race at Lima Land Motorsports Park in Lima, Ohio on Friday, and then on Saturday is my super late model race at New Smyrna Speedway in Florida. So I'm going from dirt to asphalt. So it's going to be a big difference.
It's going to be a big difference, and you're going from Ohio to Florida.
Yeah, that too. I'll be racing on Friday night and then flying Saturday morning back home just to fly back on Sunday morning for college on Monday. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy weekend, but if you don't love what you're doing, it wouldn't be fun. But even that
is right.
Yeah. So if you're racing your late model, it would pretty much always be in Florida right now.
Right now, yes. We're actually looking at possibly doing the All-American 400 in Nashville, Tennessee. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we can do that. Fingers crossed the car stays in one piece this weekend. But as long as it stays in one piece, we'll be at the All-American 400. So
now that would be a fun place to go.
For sure.
I was so jealous last weekend. Well, jealous in some ways not, because I heard some issues, but for the first time for them having a race there, there's things they got to work through. I heard about that they weren't, they ran out of water and they wouldn't let you take coolers in and all the complaints. But if you put all that aside, I thought the racing was amazing last week. And I love Nashville. I haven't been there for years and years and years. And I really want to go to Nashville when they have another race. So yeah, that'd be a fun place. And it's a fun place to hang out and do stuff, but you're not even going to have time to do that.
No.
You're going to leave and go home. So Yeah. Didn't plan that very well.
Take a week vacation.
Exactly. So New Smyrna is where you typically race. Is that your favorite place track to race, or where would be some place you'd like to go other than Nashville? What's a track you'd like to race at?
I really want to race Pensacola, Five Flag Speedway. Like that's been my dream to do the snowball derby there. Probably not going to make it this year because we do have some work. I mean, I'm only doing my second race this weekend in the Super. So we'll see. I mean, there's always an option to go there, but maybe next year we'll be able to go there for the snowball derby. But that's definitely one place I really want to go to.
Okay. Yeah. Florida girl would want to do the snowball derby.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you had some advice for a parent that came up to you and said, you know, my child's interested in becoming a race car driver or getting involved in racing, what's some advice you would give the mom and maybe even the child?
I would say definitely take the opportunity, like push your kid to do like what they want to do. And if that's their dream, let them do it. Let them build a career out of it because, I mean, you want to do something you love the rest of your life. So if you can push your kid to do it, then they can push themselves to go get sponsors and other things like that. And then start in the stock car class because that's where you learn the most, honestly. You learn a lot, either if it's 4 cylinders or 8 cylinders, you're learning a lot, whether you're on the track and just learning exactly how the car works and because on a stock car, it's a lot different than like a late model, just steering and just like anything in general. Like it's just a lot harder than a late model. So, I mean, just start there and work your way up and just keep pushing your kid to do it because like me, I started in go-karts and just kept pushing and pushing, and my dad helped me throughout my whole career. So it's just trying to push them to go further in life and make a career out of it if they want to. So
yeah, and you're going to have bad days, you're going to have discouraging days, and you have to realize that that's life, whether it's racing or becoming a nurse or becoming whatever you want to be. It's never a perfectly smooth, straight path. There's always bumps and just have to keep working at it.
Go ahead. I've had my fair share of wrecks. I mean, I've been taken in an ambulance twice from the racetrack. So, I mean, I understand where it comes, like where you have bad nights. Like there's good nights and there's bad nights. And I mean, I've been taken out in an ambulance. So there's a big difference between those two. And you just got to keep pushing forward.
So where's your mom in all this? Is she a fan of you doing all this?
So my mom isn't really the biggest fan of motorsports, but when she's seen that we got the late model, she was really into it last weekend but last race that we did in the super late. And she was really into it because we actually did pretty decent. And she's really she's nervous that I'm out there because it's the highest division on short track. And she's really scared about it, but I mean, she'll get over it.
And what about being in the monster truck? How does she feel about that?
Oh, she was super nervous about that. But I mean, you're also really safe in those. There's huge roll cages and it's a lot safer than being on the street. Like that's what my dad tells me all the time. Being on the street, you don't have a cage, you don't have the 5-point harness, you don't have any of that. So being in a race car is a lot safer, whether you're going higher speeds or not, it's a lot safer.
Yeah, he's probably exactly right. And people don't think about that, but that's true. And if you don't know much about racing and you went to the track and you looked inside the car or you saw how somebody was buckled in and the helmet and the harness and all the things that you have on, you are pretty safe. You'd have to get hit just right or just wrong to get hurt. And so we're lucky that the sport has really taken safety as one of its number one consideration.
Yeah, for sure.
People are safe and they can enjoy the sport.
Right.
So how old are you right now, Jamie?
I'm 20 years old.
You're 20 years old. So, you've had quite a few years of racing under your belt, but you've got a lot more ahead of you. So when you're down the line and you're 65 like I am, you look back at your racing career, what are some things you want to have accomplished and what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, my dream is to obviously be in Monster Jam and then maybe even take on ARCA or Xfinity or NASCAR of some sort. So, I mean, that's definitely my dream. I just want to be at that point where people look up to me as a driver and there's many people look up to me. So I really just want to get to that point where I can make a kid become like the next Monster Jam the Monster Jam driver, or just a NASCAR in general, just anything. I mean, just make the kids achieve their dreams too.
Okay. So you want to set a good example is what you're,
Yes,
and
for
you're
sure.
already doing that. And so you've got several more years that you can do that and influence those kids.
Yeah.
So what's the most daring thing you've done other than drive a stock car or the monster truck?
I've driven stacker cars. So it's where one controls the gas and the brake, and the other controls the steering. So I've done that twice already, and I've also done enduros. But doing that was really fun. Like, it's a big difference because I was in a minivan on the bottom, and just a minivan in general likes to roll over. So knowing that it was on the bottom and doing a dirt race with that was crazy. But we finished 3rd out of 8, so it wasn't too bad. But it was definitely a different experience.
So that's funny you mentioned that, because they're doing that at Kalamazoo Speedway, which is my home track. It's like 15 miles from here. And they're doing that this weekend. I think they did it last year. No, not last year. Must have been the year before. Last year, they didn't even get to race. The year before they did it. And then now they're doing it, I believe, this weekend. And I can't imagine what it's like being in there and depending on somebody else to have the brake or the steering. I think I'd rather be on the bottom though than the top. I'm not sure, but
I've been on both the top and bottom, but I've only done steering. I haven't done the gas and the brake yet. I'm considering it the next time though, because I really I'm gonna slam on the gas. I don't even care. Like, I'll full send it. So that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do next time. But just getting this opportunity, I got this opportunity from this guy Drew. He runs he's a promoter in Michigan actually, and he does a lot of the races up there. And I got also an enduro car. He built me an enduro car not too long ago. So be doing that in September too, I believe.
Okay, so is it the Midwest Compact Touring Series?
He does, he does run that, but no, that's not what I will be in, but yeah.
No, but that's the Drew you're talking about? Yes. Well, he's a good friend of mine.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
I didn't know that you knew him. So yeah. Yeah, he was part of the stacker deal. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good promoter, and he loves racing. He loves it upside down, wrong side out, and every which way. So
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, he runs Midwest Compact Touring Series, and then I think they have a couple other things going on now this year too. So I can't keep up with them. They're always busy doing something, him and Woody. So
he's what got our monster trucks out to the track too at Sandusky.
Oh yeah, did they? Yeah, they're gonna have Kalamazoo's gonna have a couple monster trucks too. I'm not sure where they got those from, but maybe wouldn't that be fun if you could come to my local track and
right?
That would be a lot of fun to be able to watch it. Yeah. So you're gonna go from dirt to asphalt. Which one do you like the best?
I really don't have a preference. Like, I don't know. I just like driving anything, just like the monster truck. It's way different than doing asphalt or dirt, but I mean, I just like driving anything. So I don't really have a preference. I've raced both, obviously. So, I mean, I really don't care, but I don't know.
So which have you done the most of, dirt or asphalt?
I've done more of asphalt because I raced pro trucks and late models and asphalt. But I started off on dirt. I did dirt go-karts, and then I did dirt stock cars. And then I went back to asphalt, and then back to dirt, and then back to asphalt. So I've been off and on both of those.
Well, that's good though, really, because it gives you a lot of versatility, and you can, you're not limited to just one thing. And that's pretty fun. And now you've got the trucks, monster trucks added in. It's hard to say what next time you'll be driving a speedboat or something.
Right.
Or you'll come to Michigan and race snowmobiles. They race
there you go.
in the winter. So you'll have to check that out sometime too.
For sure.
So Jamie, what have I not asked you about that we should share with our listeners?
I mean, I can thank my sponsors. I have Sullivan Moving Systems, Pro Things Apparel, and BSP Signs and Graphics. I can't thank them all enough, especially coming on board for the 2020 season and then coming on board again for the 2021 season. So that's definitely a big thing. Also, I would like to thank Drew for all the opportunities he's given me, and J.R. McNeil with the Raising Cane Monster Trucks. I would like to thank them all because they've given me this opportunity. It's just amazing to be in a monster truck at the age of 20. And it's endless opportunities I've gotten. Also want to thank the University of Northwestern Ohio for everything they've given me as well.
Yeah, that education is something nobody can ever take away from you, no matter where you are or what you do. So
Exactly.
that's an important piece of what you're doing for sure. Well, Jamie, I love following you. You're just so fun, and you've always got something cool going on. And then I saw about the monster trucks, and I was like, oh wow, now this is cool. So, Monster Jam usually comes to Detroit or
Right.
somewhere close by. So, well, you'll have to make sure that we all know where you are and what you're doing so that your fans can come out and watch. And I know you're going to have more and more fans as the years go on. So
Oh yeah.
I appreciate that you took the time to spend a little time with me today. And any last words?
Just thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Like it's awesome to be on these podcasts and just getting my knowledge out to everyone and what I do, my experience. So, I mean, if anyone ever wants to ask questions or anything, you can feel free to contact me on Facebook or Instagram at Jamie Sullivan Racing. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, I appreciate that you said that, because sometimes I think people think, oh, she's a top driver, she's this, that, I don't want to bother her. But really, you love sharing what you're doing and sharing it with others, don't you?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm down to earth. I'm not like those ones that won't talk to you or anything. Like, I'll talk to you. You have any questions, I'll answer them for you. Like, I really don't. I'll tell you exactly about the school and everything and how it is. So just, if anything, just feel free to contact me.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Well, I appreciate the time, and good luck this weekend. I'll be watching Facebook so I know how you do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Racing Girls Rock Podcast. Follow us on Facebook at International Women's Motorsports Association or on Instagram and Twitter at the IWMA Nation. And if you know someone that should be on our show, drop us an email at iwmanation@gmail.com.